My mom falsely accused me of drunk driving and hit and run to protect her stepson. I spent days in jail while she watched. Then my aunt got her confession on recording. I was 22 and had just started a new job at a warehouse making decent money for the first time in my life. My mom remarried when I was 14, and her husband Vince brought his son Kyle into the family. Kyle was 16, reckless, and untouchable. Whatever Kyle did, Mom covered for him. He totaled Vince's car at 17. They told insurance it was a deer. He got expelled for fighting. Mom blamed the other kid. When Kyle got caught stealing from a gas station, Vince made one phone call and it disappeared. I watched this for years and said nothing because saying something meant getting yelled at. Dad left when I was 10, and after that Mom made it clear I wasn't her priority. Kyle was the fresh start. The night everything changed, I was asleep in my apartment. My phone rang at 3 a.m. It was my mom, and her voice was shaking. Kyle is in trouble. He hit a parked car and drove off. Someone got the plate and called the cops. They're looking for a silver truck. I drove a silver truck. Kyle drove a silver truck too, the one Vince bought him for graduation. Before I could say anything, she said it. I told the police it was you. I sat up so fast I knocked my lamp off the nightstand. You what? Kyle can't go to jail. He just got accepted into a program. You're tough. You can handle it. Just say it was you and it'll blow over. Mom, I wasn't even driving tonight. I've been home since 8. They already have your name. I gave them your plate number. Just cooperate and it'll go away fast. He's your brother. He wasn't my brother. He was some kid who moved into my house and took everything I had, including my mother. I argued for 20 minutes. She cried. She begged. She told me I was being selfish. Then she hung up. 2 hours later, police were at my door. DUI and hit and run. I told them it wasn't me, that I'd been home all night, that I hadn't had a drink in months. They didn't care. My name was on the report. My plate matched. My own mother had given a sworn statement saying she saw me leave the house intoxicated that night. They put me in handcuffs in my own doorway at 5 a.m. while my neighbor watched from across the hall. I spent 3 days in county lockup. Metal bench, cold food, staring at a ceiling, wondering how my own mother could do this. I missed 2 shifts at work. Almost lost the job I'd just started. I called her from jail twice. She didn't pick up. I called Vince. He said, "Just take the deal, son. We'll cover the fine. It's not a big deal." Not a big deal. I was sleeping in a cell because his kid couldn't drive sober. On day 3, my Aunt Diane bailed me out. She paid $2,000 out of her own savings. She was my dad's sister, the only person in my family who never liked Vince and never trusted Kyle. She drove me home, sat me down, and asked me to tell her everything. When I finished, her face went hard. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She just nodded slowly and said, "Give me 1 week." I didn't know what she was planning. I was too busy trying to save my job. My boss said he'd give me 5 days to sort this out before he had to let me go. My public defender returned exactly 1 of my 6 calls. Meanwhile, Kyle was walking around free, posting photos of himself at the lake, hanging out with friends, living his normal life on the back of my destroyed one. Nobody in the family called to check on me. Not Mom, not Vince, not my grandmother who lived 10 minutes away. I didn't exist to them. 6 days after I got out, Aunt Diane called me over to her house. She sat me down at her table and hit play on her phone. It was my mother's voice, clear as day. I had to give them his name. Kyle would have lost everything. He already has marks on his record from before. They'd send him to real jail, not county. He's still young. Aunt Diane's voice came next. "So you lied to the police? You gave them your own son's name?" I did what any mother would do. "For your stepson, while your actual son sat in a cell for 3 days." Long pause. Then Mom said, "He'll be fine. He's always been fine on his own." That sentence hit me harder than anything. She wasn't sorry. She just assumed I'd absorb it the way I'd absorbed everything else. Aunt Diane had gone to Mom's house with her phone recording. She asked the right questions, and Mom answered every one. Admitted she lied. Admitted Kyle was driving. Admitted she gave my plate number knowing I'd be arrested. I took that recording to my lawyer the next morning. He took it to the DA. Within 2 weeks, every charge against me was dropped. Kyle was hit with the original hit and run plus driving on a suspended license they hadn't even known about. Mom was charged with filing a false report and obstruction of justice. Vince called me that night, screaming into the phone, "You're destroying this family over a misunderstanding." It wasn't a misunderstanding. She framed me. You both watched. The court dates came and went. Kyle got 90 days in county and 2 years probation. Mom got a suspended sentence and 200 hours of community service. She tried calling me after. I let it ring. Last month she texted, "You're choosing your aunt over your own mother?" I typed back 3 words. "You chose first."